Hi, my name is Amara Gordon. I am the principal attorney at Amara Law, LLC, which is an immigration firm located in the Boston area. We focus on family-based immigration, such as someone petitioning for a family member or a spouse, U.S. citizenship, or also known as naturalization cases, special immigrant juvenile cases, and I also have a background in criminal defense. So we help non-citizens who may be facing some criminal issues. I first discovered Smith.ai when, frankly, I was faced with a dilemma. I was an early convert to virtual receptionist services. I've used a few different services, and they never really hit all the marks. And in particular, there was a structure that I wasn't fond of at a prior company that I had used. And when I realized how calls were being handled, I knew immediately I could no longer work with them. I reached out to a consultant I use, or in today's lingo, a coach. And he's somebody who's pretty well known in the legal tech world, and his recommendations are always spot on. So when he recommended Smith to me, I didn't have to think twice. I knew that they would be a great fit for my office. They were a reputable company, but like any consumer, I still vetted them for myself. And I have to say that this person's recommendation was exactly what I thought it would be. And I've been very happy ever since. I've been with Smith now for about 3 years. You know, the great thing about Smith is it's almost like they work in your office. They get to know you, they get to know your clients, your practice areas, your quirks. Sometimes I'm so impressed because I can't imagine how many customers Smith has, and yet they're able to seamlessly keep track of not only our particular requests and needs, but they also update our requests frequently. You know, sometimes I change the way my intake process. Right now I'm offering a different structure of consults with different options, and Smith is able to seamlessly implement those changes almost as though they are sitting next to me in my office, and I just met with them for 2 hours to tell them, you know, some of the changes that our practice will be undergoing. The other big difference that comes to mind with Smith versus some of its competitors is they don't charge by the second or by the minute. I'm a flat fee attorney. I've always been a flat fee attorney. I think that that's the way to go, at least in certain practice areas. And I have a feeling that in the future, most legal services will be flat fee. And it is so important, I think, in today's society and in where legal culture is going, for the client to be helped when they call. And I realized the main function of my phone was new callers and intake. Callers do not want to call and find out whether they can meet with me this week or next week and what the price is in 3 hours or in a day. So I added the scheduling feature onto my package. So callers will call my office. They can instantaneously find out the different consults that we offer, how long those consults are, what's required of the client, such as when the payment's due, how to send us documents, and then they can schedule. And I found since I started that, it alleviates time and pressure from both me and my staff because we don't have to worry about reaching out to a new caller right away. And I've noticed that almost all of my callers and my new clients come to their consults and they pay for their consults. So it has a great return. And I think it's because we are helping the client or the consumer versus doing things on our schedule as attorneys or as office staff if you are not in the legal field. One of the biggest impacts Smith.ai has had on my business is data retention. So when a caller calls, that person's name, email, and phone number are taken down. And you never know when you're going to need a phone number or when you're going to need an email. And I find, maybe it's just me, but I don't think I'm alone, one of the hardest things is when someone dictates a phone number to me or an email. I speak a second language, so I really struggle sometimes to write down a phone number fast enough, whether it's in my first language or my second language. So having professionals who do this all day long, who are trained to listen for phone numbers, listen for emails. Smith does this great thing where they check the email to make sure that it's a working email. That's huge. A lot of my clients are Spanish speakers, particularly as an immigration attorney. It's so important for me that at all contact points, whether it's the first call, speaking to my paralegal, speaking to me, that a client never feels that they have to revert to English. And Smith.ai has bilingual receptionists. They have a set phone line where clients can call and speak to a bilingual receptionist. So by having bilingual receptionists available at all times, our clients are happy and we're able to focus on practicing law and not making phone calls. There is a concern, it seems, that having a virtual receptionist means that your clients won't feel like they are being helped, or information will not be effectively communicated. Putting aside the expense of having a full-time receptionist, there are two issues with that. Number one, what happens if your receptionist calls out, goes on vacation, takes a lunch break? Do I have to cover phones? Well, what if I have court while my receptionist is at lunch? Then who covers the phone? And so if you have one person answering your phones, what if that one person isn't there? And then is your client going to get a voicemail? Who leaves voicemails anymore, frankly? It's rare, right? And it's not an effective way, particularly with new clients. So that's one issue. If you're in a space sharing area, let's say you share space with 10 other lawyers and you all share a receptionist. Same issues as the lunch, calling out, vacation, but let's add in what happens when that receptionist is on a call with lawyer number 2. Who's answering your phone? I don't think that model works anymore. Another issue that seems to be discussed is, or a concern, which I think is normal to have when you're looking for new services, is Smith adds on fees per service. So if you add on scheduling, the fee is per every single call you have, not just the call that schedules. How can do you want your receptionist keeping track of, okay, call number 3 of the day, scheduled a consult, call number 4 didn't, let me note that down. That's distracting. That doesn't work. And the add-on fee is reasonable. And if you also have concerns about your budget, and I understand that, I'm a very small firm. I've always been cognizant of overhead. But one thing I've spent a little bit more money on is my phones, whether it's my VoIP service provider or a virtual receptionist, because that's the face of my practice. And if you go back to my example of losing a call, losing a client that may be worth, making up numbers, $3,000, $5,000, all of a sudden that dollar per call doesn't seem so bad. You have to put it in perspective. And if I'm scheduling the consult and that takes me 15 minutes out of my day, even though I'm a flat fee attorney, I know what my time is worth per hour. If I were to charge hourly, which I don't, but I'm cognizant of what that number would be in my market. So 20 minutes out of your day, how much does that cost at your hourly rate? So when you put things into perspective, you realize that the cost is nominal for these add-on services, and they could change the way you run your law practice or your business, and most importantly, revolutionize the client experience. I would recommend Smith.ai to all small businesses. We have smaller budgets. We can't necessarily afford a full-time employee with health insurance, but we want to deliver quality service, because if you're a small business owner, this is not a 9-to-5 job. This is who you are. This is the fabric of your being and why you get up in the morning. And you want clients, potential callers, potential contacts, your customers, your patients, you want them to be well taken care of. But the challenge is implementing that, finding a way to take care of your people. Well, Smith.ai offers a solution for you in an affordable, easy way. You can be up and running so quickly. They make it easy for you. And this is what they do. This is their expertise. My expertise is immigration law, not answering phones. And Smith.ai are the experts when it comes to answering phones, chat, texting, and taking care of your people.